Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great. Bringing you guys another live video today, and today I want to talk to you guys about making safe places for your shrimp when you're keeping them in a fish tank, or if you just want to give your shrimp a nice nursery. It works great for guppy and guppy fry as well. So essentially what you're doing is just making rock piles in the tank to create these safe zones. Now you can do them with plants and other stuff as well. I apologize for the mower going off. Neighbors, I keep waiting for one neighbor to finish mowing, then the other one starts mowing, and you know how that story goes. How's it going, guys? A couple of you guys in the chat here. Alright, so let's get started on this. What I do here, usually, since I got that new rack that has 20 tanks, I got a lot of rocks I need to make piles of in many tanks. But I usually use this creek stone, and that's this smaller stuff. And then they have, or no, this is the pond pebbles, and then this is the creek stone, has some of the bigger pieces in it, which I kind of like the bigger pieces a little better, because I don't know, you get bigger gaps, and you don't have to pick up as much, like say if you wanted to change it later. And also, as always, we'll have a little Q&A at the end too, and I'll try to pick up some questions too as I see your guys' chat going by. And then this is some lava rock. This is a new one for me. It's very porous, so it'll collect a lot of the detritus, mulm, and stuff like that. So we're gonna try that out too, see how that works. But this, I've usually used this, and then driftwood's always good too. But as far as making a pile, you can't. That's just some extra manzanita driftwood I have that's been baking in the sun. The size of, and also some of you guys know I have this heated pond I keep out here. Indiana gets super cold, so I've got over 5,000 watts of heat in here. And we'll be taking the tops off of here soon, but if you can see down there, that's got good sized rock too. Those are some rocks that you can get from like Home Depot and stuff. Like 3 to 4 inches, those would make great rock piles. But here coming soon, we'll take the top off this. Like these tops got mangled from the winter. The wind blowing them off, ripping them apart. That's why there's rocks and stuff over there. But yeah, definitely enjoying the weather. It's nice here for once. I can't wait to take those tops off. But alright, I got some rocks in a bucket here. Those are the rocks I use. And take these in. I'll show you what these rock piles actually look like. Sorry for the loud TV. My son's watching videos, learning how to count and his ABCs and all that. He's just hanging out. But see, what I do is usually a lot of times I'll sniff the bags at the like Home Depot. I get mine from Home Depot, but I always smell the bag because sometimes they'll smell like diesel. So I try to not buy the bags that smell like diesel, because they don't really care when they're bagging these. If the equipment has leaks and stuff like that, they don't really care. They'll just bag it up anyway. But what I use is I just get some rocks, and then I've got this I use, or you could just wash them up by hand. Bam, bam. And it's kind of cool because a lot of times you'll find ones with a bunch of fossils in it and whatnot. Like this one. That even has some quartz fossils in it. Then I'll stick it in a separate container just so. And the reason why it was all on my deck was I was letting the rain and the weather kind of clean it up too. So there's a nice little tip, kind of save you some work. That, and you can get the hose out and rinse them all off really fast. So this is where all those rocks are going to get piled into. Since these are mostly going to be shrimp and endlers or guppies. But these are the rock piles, as you see here in this Blue Dream tank. And I put some PVC in here just thinking I'd make little channels. Not really necessary. But I mean, you can see how many shrimp have just exploded in this tank. And they really like, see what happens is shrimp are a lot like ants, so they'll colonize. And when the females get pregnant, they like to have somewhere safe that doesn't get disturbed. And often when you're doing water changes, like say you just had moss in your tank, it may just be rolling around, whatnot, and doesn't really make a consistent space for them. So if they have a consistent spot where they know it's not going to be disturbed, the females feel really safe to breed out. And I've got like the same thing going on here in the fire red tank. Lots of moss. And what I did, I actually arched it, and then in the middle there's not much rocks there. I just put the moss in there, so it's kind of like a mixture of moss and rocks. And that actually blends in well, so it doesn't look like just a bunch of pile of rocks. And I actually use these rocks for when I add my water. Instead of my water just hitting the bottom of the substrate and kicking everything up, it'll hit these rocks and disperse it without kicking everything up, making my moss go upside down, because you don't want your moss to go upside down or it'll start trying to grow through itself, causes algae, and that's a major issue. But man, look at all them fire reds. I just fed them too. But that's a good way to try and fill your water up faster too. Since I've got so many tanks, I'm all about trying to fill up tanks faster. And you can have smaller piles. I've got them in here. For instance, here I've got these shrimp line I've been working on. I was wanting to call them raspberry beret because it's all these red-headed blue and red shrimp I've been kind of lining out. And then I've got some of the red deltas, which they've had some babies in here already too. But see, now they can all coexist because these shrimp have somewhere safe to go from these fish. More in there. Another line of blue dream. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, you can do it with plants too, but if you look, depending on the fish, even in root systems, unless you're just like growing real thick forest and you keep it like that all the time, which is hard to do because if plants don't have space, they can't really grow, and it causes issue. And that's why I lean towards the rocks. And they'll always be sitting in that spot. Alright, any last questions? Lucas, what is more popular, blue dreams or sapphire or shrimp? They're pretty much the same thing. They are pretty much the same thing. Blue diamonds come out of blue dreams. It's just they have a little black on them. And actually, if you go too blue on a blue dream, it'll start turning black. Well, hello. Alright, so, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty straightforward video, so, I mean, I don't know how many questions you guys are going to ask about rocks. I think I covered it pretty well. Really. Do you want the pile away from the flow? Now, that all depends. You can have it near the flow or not. The flow won't really mess with it too much. It actually may clean it out a little bit. Do you keep your sponges near the rocks? It doesn't matter. Like this one's buried over here, since I got those triangular corner ones that lay on the bottom. So I mean, it doesn't really matter if they're close or not. I have some that I actually run the water right on top of, so it kind of cleanses it out a little bit each water change. But as far as like an issue with it, I haven't seen any issue as far as flow. Like these tanks really don't have much flow. Alright, teasing you again with that rainbow tank. Yeah, that rainbow tank is really looking good now that all the fish are getting bigger. What temps do you keep your tanks? It ranges between 72 to maybe 76 depending on the season. What fish can I keep outside for the summer here on? Depends on where you're at. I'm not sure what state you're at, what you're working with. What tropical fish can I keep outside here in Indiana? All kinds. I've been breeding a lot of rainbows like the last couple of years outside. I mean, really, whatever you want. You just got to get them in a timely fashion before the cold hits. Okay. Aiden, remod. Yeah, you got to ask me on a Friday for that remod, because I'll be on my computer. How tall do you want the pile, and do you keep the substrate at the same level or build some up? Like, this pile's not too high. It all depends. You know, the bigger pile you have, bigger colony you have. So they don't have as much space here, but like say on these ones that have bigger ones, I mean, that's a decent size height, and I put it straight on the substrate. I don't blend it or anything, because it'll end up settling a little bit, but not too much. The idea is just having all these carriage spaces between it. And yes, thank you for the congrats on the 5K. I saw that today. I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about that. And thank you all for watching and subscribing. Like, without you guys, I wouldn't even do this, because it'd be senseless to do, right? But yeah, I'm liking making you guys videos and stuff. I hope to do it more often. Alright, so that does it for creating safe spaces for shrimp and fish while keeping them together. How do you clean your white sand? That's Carib Sea Natural White, and I don't have to rinse it. Like, I bought the kind you have to rinse, and it's a pain in the butt. You might as well buy the other stuff. Alright, and for all the other regular questions, as always, Fridays 9:30 Eastern Time, I do the Q&A where you can ask me anything. Alright, thank you all for watching. Until then, peace.